Hey guys. So let's talk about the male people pleaser of our society, Mr. Nice Guy. We all know this person. It's an energy. And as we know, people pleasing embodies shame, guilt, and fear of rejection and abandonment. So we already know this man is feeling ashamed and guilty for the way he shows up. And the way that he's living his life and the things that he's doing for others is an attempt to not be abandoned and rejected. It's not his from his truth and from his heart. So that alone brings shame. And while there are layers to the wounded masculine, we're going to focus on this one. So this energy shows up very aloof, indecisive, and of course, healthy masculine energy is very intentional. He executes. And so this people pleasing gentleman, he is overgiving and trying to do things to be nice, not kind. Kind is genuine and true, and nice is a manipulation. So he's showing up in this energy to try to manipulate so he's not abandoned. And when he shows up to relationships with women, he's not going to be very committing. He's not going to be very decisive. And of course, the feminine is not going to feel very safe with this. He ends up being a match for the wounded feminine who is overgiving, people pleasing, and in her masculine. So he comes in very, wishy-washy, and it's really like a seesaw tipping of his feminine rising. He's going to find himself unbalanced with the woman that he's with because she's going to appear and feel like she's the man of the relationship a lot of the time. The thing that I see so much with this energy is that because this gentleman is overgiving and he's counting on that to receive and to be accepted and to be loved, the thing that is the huge miss is that, so we know Mr. Nice Guy does not have emotional accountability. So he's not feeling his feelings. So when a man is not feeling his feelings ever, when he's in front of a woman, his significant other that is feeling her emotions in a healthy way, he's going to have to reject her. And she feels this. So whether she's conscious of it or not, she's going to start to wall up and her masculine is going to start to rise so she can feel protected. And he's going to feel this, maybe not in his conscious awareness, but things are starting to shift. And then because he doesn't want to be rejected and abandoned, he's going to continue to give and people please. And what this masculine is not understanding is that after you make a female shrink and feel small, or any person, then when you try to give them compliments, gifts, and manipulate in that way, that creates even more walls up for the feminine and more masculine energy needed to rise from within to protect her. We do not feel safe receiving anything from someone that has already made us feel rejected. So this will continue to happen in the relationship, and it will just be like a chisel time after time. And he feels failure and lack, shame and guilt. And of course, this will bring up a ton of fear. So then when Mr. Nice Guy feels like he's being pushed out, even if it's not intentional or no one's even consciously aware of it, he is going to, it's like a pendulum swing because it's not a higher level of consciousness, but this is the distorted masculine. So when we think that anytime a person is people pleasing, they are manipulating to then get something. So if that thing is not given, masculine or feminine, we do this pendulum swing into distorted energy. And like wounded energy to me feels more like, oh, poor me, I can't get this right, I'm such a failure. And the distorted feels like, it's like a bitter, oh my God. But if you think about it, who would want to feel that helpless, hopeless feeling? Of course, like say your friend didn't invite you to her wedding and you're like, man, that's really hurtful. Naturally, we're going to swing so subtly to, then screw her. And what we are not seeing with the naked eye, Mr. Nice Guy walking around every day, he is packing not only shame, but vindictive anger. He's not feeling his feelings. So he is he's suppressing anger and rage. So when you don't give him what he has worked so hard to manipulate you to get, then there's going to be an energy of mean, like there's cattiness, there's feminine energy in this, even in the wounded masculine as well, and totally vice versa. I will say. Like when I drop into my wounded feminine, it feels more like pity me feminine, but then when I pendulum swing into my distorted feminine energy, I can feel my masculine, not in the moment because I'm not aware of it, but then when I step outside of it, I can reflect back and I'm like, oh, totally, there was masculine energy in that. So I can feel when I'm interacting or even just witnessing a man go into distorted masculine, there's it's just fascinating. And what's too bad is that this man is continuing to chip away at his own self-esteem. And the thing that would actually help him is if he intentionally started to create safe spaces for himself, maybe set an alarm for an hour, 20 minutes, whatever, to start and feel, and I mean everything from grief to full on rage. It is so healthy. I promise. Like it has been feeling into my rage has been probably the thing that has helped me grow the most in the past 6 years. Personally, when I do this myself, for some reason, I always do the same motion and sound, and it just feels good for coming out of my body and my mouth. But I just do this swing, and I'm just going, and I'm feeling like I'm sometimes just have tears down the whole front of me. And for me, I'm feeling into childhood neglect and emotional abuse throughout the years from different people, and mainly the invalidation of when I called them out, the suppression of my voice, and then also feeling into my lineage and all the people who were mistreated and not acknowledged, meant to just accept it, and no one even asked them about, so I just feel into this, and thank God I have been doing it. I would not be anywhere near where I am mentally and emotionally, spiritually right now if I had not been feeling my rage. Today's Monday, I did it on Saturday, and then maybe 2 weeks before. I'm doing it probably 4 times a month, give or take, depending on the month. But there's things that need to come out, and if it's not being called for, then I'm not going to force myself to do it. I need to feel into something else. But rage, it's going to be a game changer, especially for a man to be suppressing his rage. It's not going to go well, and that's going to come out in other ways. And it is so important to create an actual space to feel, and then maybe start thinking of different versions of you, and maybe the things that they were going through, and what's coming up, what's feeling alive, and just allowing yourself to feel that, and then closing the space. Because if somebody's just telling you, just feel your feelings, and you're not creating an intentional space, that can just go for days. And it's such a blurry, messy kind of thing. So I'm certainly not feeling into rage and then just hopping over to CVS to just, so I want to get grounded first. So when I'm coming out of this emotion, I do some somatic body movement, like swaying, circling my hips. I, touch my arms, and even sometimes kiss my arms, and hold my face sometimes, brush my hair, like I'm caring for someone, and my masculine energy has created the safe container, as a man will do, and my feminine is feeling the range of emotions, and I'm giving myself this, this love and acceptance, and I'm allowing my feminine to receive it. So these are the kind of emotions that I go through. So it's very important to allow whatever needs to be felt, but then to do some breath work and bring yourself back to groundedness before you enter back into the world or your family. It really is important to very intentionally create these spaces and let your sons know that you're doing this. So important that you are showing that you are feeling things, not just hiding away, feeling, and then not letting anyone know about it. Your sons are then also going to be in the same exact position. They need to see that you feel things. However, if you're going into feeling just all the time and you're so emotional, now you've dropped way into your feminine. So that's not going to be a healthy balance either. So creating those intentional spaces, it's such a game changer. And you will then, not only are you letting go of the feelings that you're suppressing that create disease in the body, the amount at which you allow yourself to feel your feelings is the is directly proportionate to the groundedness, the space you're able to hold when a woman is feeling a wide range of emotions, which is healthy for a woman. I don't mean she's flipping out on you, throwing glass at the wall. No, but if she's experiencing emotions and you are going, oh God, I don't know what to do. Oh crap. And when you are able to hold healthy space for your feminine, your significant other, she's going to drop more into her feminine and feel safe with you. And you're not going to feel the need to people please and overgive. You're going to feel a lot more confident, and you won't, that need to people please is only a response to the lack that you feel in your self-worth. So when you witness that you are able to be a safe, grounded space, like think of Mufasa from The Lion King. I always think of that. That's a very healthy masculine energy. So, when we think of if a woman was crying around that energy, would he be, in the wounded masculine, like, oh geez, I don't know how to help, or the distorted masculine, like, oh my God, and just turning up the music, like, shut up. The distorted masculine is very dismissive, just very more overt, blatant. You're like, oh my God. And of course you're going to feel a shrinking, then for it to just kind of blow over and then him overcompensate by giving to you, you're not going to want to open up and receive. So if this gentleman is feeling his feelings, starting to work on building his healthy masculine energy, accountability, precision, purpose-driven, strength, and as well with his inner feminine, he's going to be able to feel so much more confident, and it's going to be such a game changer, not just for the romantic relationship he's in, but with all the relationships around him. People are going to start to respect him more, and he's going to start to respect himself more. And then also you're showing your son such a different path, and you're letting him know that it's safe to feel his feelings, which is the truth. Our conditioning, our brainwashing tries to send men away from feeling, to keep the masculine in shame. Our conditioning is desperate to have us looking only through a shame lens. So our conditioning wants the masculine to not feel, so he can feel shame, not show up. So then the feminine can drop into her masculine, and we are so disconnected. Also, your children are being taught, your boys, not to feel, so to feel just as much shame in their future relationships. And you're teaching your daughter what kind of men she's going to be with, men that dismiss her feelings. So it's so important, and you're going to feel so much more confident when you start allowing yourself to feel, just to be you, yourself, and you'll be accepting all the parts of yourself, and you'll notice that there's a less need for that externally. So, which also means less people pleasing and more self-fulfillment and self-honor. It's also important to remember that masculine energy is not designated to men. Every single one of us has masculine energy. So we can notice the things that we're doing, our behaviors, our inner feelings, and notice what is coming up to block our masculine or feminine and preventing us from flowing in a balanced, healthy way. So in the past week, I noticed myself wanting to share even this video, and I noticed some imposter syndrome, fear to be seen. And so while our feminine energy is more of a dreamer, creator, ideas flowing, my masculine energy executes. And so I asked myself, like, what's coming up and preventing you from executing this video? And, this is my purpose, my intention, my goal. So what is blocking me from meeting that? So I reflected, and I could feel that post-holidays, some things were coming up from being bullied by my elders in the past, and having just gone through the holidays. That was really alive in me. And I talked to the version of myself that felt the most hurt by these kind of things in the past. And, I told myself, hey, okay, I see what's going on, and that's okay. I get that part of me, the attention and love that they are feeling lack of. So I said, are you going to allow bullies that are projecting their insecurities onto you to have you stunting yourself from your goals, from not showing up from your purpose? Remember, a healthy masculine is very purpose-driven, very oriented in that way. So that's another block I'm feeling. And I said, no, you know what? What the heck am I talking about? So then here I am, so just being aware of what healthy masculine energy looks like will help, especially the men who are looking to be dominant in masculine energy. I am a female and live my life that way, so I am going to always want to be more dominant in my feminine energy, but that doesn't mean I want to neglect my masculine. I want it to be healthy masculine energy too. And also for these men, it's also helpful to know what healthy feminine looks like as well, because you may have an imbalance going on. Also, it's so important to be asking yourself about the dynamic you had with your mother, because often with Mr. Nice Guy, he's playing out a role with women. Maybe that he was coddled by his mom and he's looking for that from the feminine, or maybe it was the other way. His mother parentified him and was dependent on him parenting her and saving mom. So he might be seeking that in relationships. And it's just so important to know what your intention is, what kind of dynamic you're looking for, because that will also help eliminate people pleasing. And it's wild when we hear nice guys finish last. And I've heard nice guys say that in a condescending way, like, yep, if they didn't get what they were looking for when they were people pleasing, they weren't able to manipulate. And I've heard, yep, I guess nice guys finish last. And what they're not realizing is if you were to rise into accountability, then the healthy feminine would attract to you. So it doesn't have anything to do with, a kind man. Well, too bad for you. We want bad boys. And that's really not what it's about at all. It's that no healthy woman wants to be in the presence of a nice guy. It's there, there's no backbone. It's basically 100% you are going to have to be in your masculine energy as the female. So no healthy woman is looking for that. They just might not be aware of it yet. And I can say that I was not for many years when I was people pleasing and in my wounded feminine energy, and pendulum swinging between that and the distorted feminine. And of course I was not attracting a healthy man in accountability because I was not in accountability. It really is, it's just so beneficial to know what kind of energy you're bringing, not to shame yourself, but to create any shifts that are necessary, and then to be able to witness yourself make these shifts, feel really proud of yourself, and then feel even more confident to role model for the youth around you. Another great way to hold yourself accountable and to come into that accountability is to basically get accountability buddies, and to really start sharing, gentlemen, your shame and the things that make you feel guilty and afraid with other men that you feel safe with, men that you could hire as a mentor, people that, other gentlemen that are ahead of you on the same path. And brotherhood is just so important. And when we realize that our conditioning is having us look this way and having men not feel, I just always encourage to be like, nope, because this is where the truth is going to be. We are being so brainwashed to look through a lens of shame, which is a complete illusion. When we start to realize that in many places, women are outliving men, we're starting to realize that's because of emotional suppression. There are places in the world where the men live exactly as long as the women, and what do you know? They have deep, deep male friendships. So it's so important. I just really encourage you, even if it's one friend, or if you don't feel comfortable opening up to a friend right now, to hire a mentor, a coach, and to just really check in and see how different you feel when you start to feel that empowerment and you're able to open up and share the shame that you're feeling. And then when you start to see your significant other surrendering and relaxing into her feminine, let this just be a reminder that you feeling your feelings is creating this. And if your son is watching this, he is going to be able to teach this to his son. So you feeling your emotions quite literally is going to help your great-grandson have a healthier, more confident relationship with his wife. How freaking cool is that? Oh my goodness. I'm just hyping you and encouraging you and just reminding you that men not feeling their feelings is a complete brainwash. It is literally taking you to an early death, disease, shame within your relationships. It doesn't need to happen. Those safe spaces that you're creating for yourself with a fellow brother, it's going to really benefit you. And also remembering that the healthy masculine is very purpose driven. He's building with his hands. He's strength training. So if you are going to work and then coming home, playing video games and allowing yourself to be mothered, this path is going to keep you in shame. So I just invite you to, even for a week, to set intention to be doing maybe some exercise and maybe building something with your son, and to just be getting into those spaces where you're feeling all the feelings, and then closing that space, doing some deep breathing, and just being proud of yourself for even giving it a try. Because, for me, I'm a big feeler, but so I can't imagine if I suddenly just never felt, so flip that around. I can imagine starting to do it. It's going to be really difficult, but it's going to get easier and easier. Your life's going to change, I promise. And yeah, I'm hyping you and sending you guys love. Good night, guys.